What's the biggest lie you've heard about college? When I was in 7th grade, some of my cousins told me that colleges could look at your search history and I believed them. I immediately went through all my search history, deleted it, and purposely searched up stuff like how to solve quadratics or what does I represent so I could sound smart hardworking to colleges. That is hilarious. That it doesn't matter if you don't know what you want to study right away and you can switch your major at any time. While parts of this are true, college is expensive. I switched my major after my 2nd year and had to take a 5th year to finish my degree. It's cheaper to take classes at a community college if you are unsure of what you want to study and then transition into university once you've decided. Don't pay thousands of dollars to find yourself. Also, if you go to a university where the majors are competitive, which was my experience, you have to somehow balance finding yourself TM while also being at risk of missing out on your chances at one of your potential majors if you freak up on one of your prerequisite course exams. The two that stand out are professors would only accept papers written in cursive, and the only path to college is doing well in high school. The former isn't true because of these things called computers and the latter isn't true because of this thing called community college. If you choose Greendale, you're already accepted. My dad spent my entire senior high school year and my entire time in college telling me the same thing over and over. If you have a college degree, any job will hire you. Doesn't matter what kind of degree it is or what kind of job it is. They'll just hire you because you have a college degree. I don't think I really believed it, but I was too busy to question it anyway. The best part? When I got out of college and had trouble getting a job that didn't involve a cash register and customer service, he kept repeating it and claimed I just wasn't trying hard enough. Used to be true. Times are different now. When I was in 11th 12th grade, I had a handful of teachers assigning unreasonably huge workloads of homework that were clearly valueless busy work. Their justification was that they were preparing us for the rigors of college, and if we found this workload unmanageable, we were doomed to flunk out of college. My first 2 years of college were significantly less rigorous than my last 2 years of high school. Those teachers should have been pushing personal accountability and self-discipline, not just stressing us out in the hopes that we develop appropriate coping mechanisms. That the professors don't help you. This isn't universal. I had my share of profs that were sink or swim, but I found a majority were willing to go above and beyond for you if you put the effort in. If you're at a research university, some of your professors have made their life's work out of your class. If you show the interest in their work the same way they have, and show JT by sitting in the front and asking relevant questions, or greeting them with a hello and thank you before and after but, when you go to their office for help, or copies of the slides because you missed class, because you sit in front they missed your face, they will give you a hand. I had a professor who taught municipal politics, Canada, and the course was largely about separation of powers, federal, provincial, municipal responsibilities. The guy was a super nerd about it, and as it turns out I was too. Really enjoyed the class, always sat in front, and when my girlfriend's mom passed away when a major paper was due, gave me all the time in the world to finish it. Someone passed away that was really no relation to me, and I basically handed the paper in after finals were over. 3 weeks late, no problem. A high school teacher told us that the summer before college is the last long vacation you'll have. The many years of college were actually the longest vacation I've had. Even considering strictly the official holidays, I've got like 6 months of vacation. France. It will be hard when I will finally work. That the professors are going to be worse than the teachers at high school. I've already finished my first year of college and the professors have been extremely helpful, even more helpful than my high school teachers. I've always hated writing essays in English, but my college professor has helped me a lot and gave me lots of helpful tips. When I turned in my first essay, he was amazed at it because I followed all of his instructions. I don't know why high school teachers implement fear to their students of how hard college is. Instead, I would have liked it better if they actually teaches us the subject instead of hearing their past life and how they ended up as a teacher. professors are usually also researchers who are passionate about their work, so helping out students is something they love to do. Not saying that high school teachers of the subject are not passionate, but college professors are on another level in the field. Many people told me that living in a student hostel is better than to rent a room or flat because it's all fun and stuff, but I experienced both, and for me a separate room all to myself was infinitely better. That the friends you make in college will be the best ones of your life didn't happen to me. My closest friends are a few guys I met way back when I was in elementary school, and they are like brothers to me. No one could be a better friend to me than those guys. I made some friends in college, but they were just drinking buddies and I lost touch with most of them. This is literally me. I'll just add on the last thing you said. I lost touch with all of them by the end of freshman year. Never had a clique, even just someone I would hang out with outside of class. I'm in my 3rd year and I told myself to make friends this quarter, right before the pandemic. Yeah, okay. Oh, there's a bunch that I heard across all 3 colleges I went to. All the dining hall food had laxatives in it, so you'll crap it out before you get food poisoning. If the professor is more than 15 minutes late, everyone can leave without getting in trouble. If your roommate dies, you get an automatic A every class. Every elevator and crosswalk has a secret code you can punch in to make it go faster. Every building is haunted. Most of that is totally false. Most professors respected the 15-minute rule at my college. Literally had a professor run into class 14 minutes late and yell, "I made it." Everyone. Sucks to be you. College is weird. You have to go to college so you can get a good job. Well, what is a good job? What if I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life? I don't particularly love my current job. That has nothing to do with my degree. BTW. But you know what? I still have one. I can support myself and live fairly comfortably. All my degree did was put me in debt. What I found out in both first-hand and second-hand experience was that most companies won't even consider you without a degree thanks to their application firewall. The day I added the college diploma to my resume was the day I started getting emails back. The college degree has become the new high school degree. That it's a blindingly fun, entirely necessary, 4-year period of your life that you will always remember fondly. For one thing, people who aren't taking out loans, getting scholarships, or getting money from their family have to work while they're in school. During the weekends I spent 0 time at parties or football games and all of my time waiting tables, bartending, and occasionally working on assignments so that I wouldn't have to complete them during the week. Between classes and the homework studying connected to them, and a part-time job, most students I knew were working about 50 to 60 hours a week to hold it all together, and some couldn't even do that with all their effort. In terms of it being necessary, I think the people most likely to support trade schools, community colleges, or just working for a living after high school will be people who go through the current American university system. Everyone feels like they're shelling out tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars for a sheet of paper, and that their development as people isn't really a priority anymore. That idea is backed up by the fact that most people with a degree don't get the job they wanted planned on, if they can get a job related to their degree at all. On a personal anecdote, I also don't know anyone that was only at college for 4 years. It took me 5 because administrative errors put me into the wrong classes, and I had to make up for lost time. Others were high schoolers that went straight into college, then realized they had no idea what they wanted to do a couple years in and changed their major. Even more were people who got an incompetent professor, or were generally screwed over by the system in a way that forced them to extend the time they spent on their education, the so-called prime of their life. All in all, the time my classmates and I spent in college was a work-intense period where we were trapped in a system bloated with bureaucratic overrun, which was designed to extract as much wealth from us as possible, and which could easily be replaced by a more pragmatic approach to post-secondary education. If we spent less time rooting for college sports teams, an anomaly in the American system, and more time asking why schools' administrative costs have skyrocketed and the perceived quality of their products have gone down, we would probably not be happy to see what we've been sending our kids into. Current college student here. The biggest lie I've heard is probably one of the following. You're at an elite school. Everyone is going to be brilliant. Absolutely not true by any stretch of the imagination. There was a guy who drunkenly drove his motorcycle into a tree because he thought it would be funny. It's a massive place. There's no one culture that defines it. While OFC there will be things for people with different interests, as there are 8,000 students there. The university's general culture related stereotypes fit remarkably well. It's not like high school. There are no popular kids. At least at my school. Top tier fraternities and sororities effectively function as the popular group. It's going to be an intellectually driven experience. If I had $1 for every kid who was taking honors multilin ALG because it looks good for BB recruiting, I'd have the funds to pay for a plane ticket to Hong Kong. People are very pre-professional, perhaps for a reason. You came from a well-resourced district, you'll be ahead. Not at all true. College has been enormously humbling in this way. There are students who come in with a weak foundation and soak it up like a sponge. And most famously, college will be the best 4 years of your life. For some people it will, but for most people it won't. You might want to pick somewhere other than Hong Kong right now. The expensive ones are better. I have degrees from state schools and Ivy League schools. The state school was flat out better and cheaper. You can get just as good a degree, maybe better, from a reasonably priced school and not go thousands into debt. To add to this, I went to a community college and then transferred to a highly ranked university, and I actually found my classes at the community college were much better. I think that going to a school based on cost or ranking can actually backfire on people because I think that at higher ranked schools professors can be much more focused on research rather than teaching. That you need to have a plan. College is dope. College is hard. College is stressful and makes you cry weekly. You think you have a plan until a mean Russian professor tells you he'll fail you in calculus if you don't drop out. Panic and change major. Change major again even though you'll graduate a semester late. Join a business fraternity BC, it'll look good on a resume. Run for exec board of the frat because someone told you to. Get exec board position and panic. Work on professional designations during classes. Go present at high schools for your frat. Work 25 hours a week so you can afford the commute and thank everything for your scholarships. Apply for more scholarships. Do summer internships. Take an extra semester to graduate in May and avoid the job gap that can happen to December graduates. More designations BC, who cares when the college is paying for it. Graduate a year late, having made awesome friends, with designations and experience under your belt, and celebrate because you deserve it. TLDR. Take your time, do your thing, graduate whenever. Your plan will change anyway. The biggest lie, you are paying for an education. This is wrong. You're not paying for an education. If you happen to receive an education, it is because you sought it out on your own. What you are actually paying for is a certification. This university is certifying that you presumably know enough crap to do the career path you are intending to follow. In my case that happens to be teaching high school English class. However, very little of what I learned were things I didn't already know or that were directly applicable to my profession. I find that to be true of all degrees. If you want to truly learn and grow, then that is something that you as an individual must choose to do. Heck, most people who invest only the bare minimum will graduate with a degree, but not all of them will be educated. That the name of the school matters. I'll admit that this might be important for some industries, but for the most part, your best bet at landing a job is through networking, not what's on paper. I put myself in huge debt going to a private college because everyone said the name was important. In my field, majority of my co-workers graduated from state schools or public ones I've never even heard of. If your degree is through Phoenix or some other exploitative for profit, it definitely matters that you basically don't have a degree anyone will respect as a bare minimum degree. It's hard and you don't have enough time when people just don't prioritize it and want to have a life like going to college isn't a life already. I have a wife and 2 kids, 3 years of college, and never did I have the issues the others did. It was way more than enough time. Work was decent if you took the time to study. I kept hearing no time, then realized people want to drink, party, play video games and anything more than work. I rather work now and play later with more money. Playtime as a poor bum sucks. OHH. That's relieving. The general consensus is that college is a mammoth's task. Your college professors won't care about your attendance, so you have to care for yourself. Bulls, I was so excited to skip class all the time in college, and all the professors had extremely strict attendance policies. Like 2 unexpired absences and you fail. Yep, you have to be strategic with your skip days. If you don't go to college, you'll end up being a construction worker with your body broken down and nothing to show for it. Got into the union building trades. Bought a house and have a decent car and some money in savings. My body is banged up, but almost all my peers have mountains of debt and make crap money. Can barely afford rent. I really enjoy what I do. All over the city I work, and I can see what I've built with my own hands. That being said, none of it has to be like this. Higher education can and should be free, and my job could definitely be safer and easier on the body. We need a fighting labor movement. That high school was preparing me for college. In a way, maybe it was, because college was not this big challenging gotta study every minute I'm not in class event that all my high school teachers implied it would be. I never had to learn and define 250 vocabulary words a week. I did have many papers to write, but they were to assess arguments and were not graded by the number of sentences per paragraph. Overall, I found that because college wasn't this rigid, strict, overbearing, structured program, I had a way easier time dealing with managing my own schedule. It was loose, easygoing, strict where necessary, but overall it was nothing like my high school teachers said it was going to be. That it's really difficult and you'll have to work your ass off every second. It's not that difficult really. I found that there was a bigger difficulty jump with uni. I mean, you're 16, the jump isn't going to be massive from high school to college, at least to start with. I had so many advisors, professors, freshman orientation speakers, etc. say that college is about learning and to base your major off of what you're passionate about, interested in. My dumb butt believed that bulls. No, the vast majority of majors a college offers are useless. If you're going to pay that money and or go into debt, you have to do it for something that has an actual, tangible demand. For example, engineering, accounting, computer science, medicine, supply chain. Otherwise, you're wasting time and money. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for pursuing a career you're passionate about, but that doesn't always equals going to college for it. If you don't have any idea what you want to do going in, you're honestly better off taking a gap year to wait tables and save money while you figure that out. Heck, you can start learning a trade and be making $40K plus within 2 years, debt free. A college degree is not valuable in and of itself. It is valuable if it comes with in high schools. Don't spend $100K to study history or sociology. Buy some books and documentaries instead. That it would be harder than high school and the teachers wouldn't put up with bulls and expect professionalism. One of my professors literally told us about his experience. It's nothing but libtards and their safe spaces. Literally nobody cares what you politically, religiously, whatever identify as. On a campus with thousands of people, there's too many different things going on to care. This depends on the campus and what groups are shouting on the quad as students move from class A to class B or the various other buildings. And influence than on a candidate's scholastic achievement or financial need. This is more for high schoolers. Try to get national merit finalist or semi-finalist by doing well on the SAT. I got a good score which landed me $70,000 worth of money at my state school and automatic honors. The money is definitely out there. As for scholarships once people are in college, I have no clue since I am just starting. You're in college, they're never gonna accept APs. That's just a scam. Bye for now.